Hello, hello, hello. I don't know if I am live yet. Check, check. Okay, it says I am streaming. Okay, I am on there. Is off by a little bit. I don't know why this is not going. Stand by. Connection is excellent. All right, I'm going to share this out to my other channel. So just stand by here for a moment. Always fun and exciting to learn something new. Let me know how the audio is sounding if you would. I would appreciate it. I just shared that on my other channel. Get back to here. All right. So, anyhow, what do you think of the news? I am so excited and so thankful that God has put it on these justices' hearts it sounds like they're going to be overturning Roe v. Wade. But of course, the reason why that this was leaked, and I've been hearing that it's suspected to have been leaked by a staffer from Sotomayor's office, though some YouTubers have been questioning, well, how do we know it wasn't leaked by Sotomayor herself? I don't know. But I think that the reason why this was leaked was because this was something that they wanted to fight against, and they wanted to hope that by leaking this information that it would enrage the public so much that they would go into riot mode. And I haven't heard of any riots yet. I know that some people have been reporting that the Supreme Court is ready for it because they have all these barriers around it. But apparently, those barriers have been up for several days since Earth Day. Apparently, someone decided to light themselves on fire in front of the Supreme Court. I don't know what happened to that person who did that. So if you know, let me know in the comments. I would appreciate it. Um, but anyhow, let me tell you what it is that we are celebrating here. Um, the fact that it was, I think, Politico that broke the news. So, that kind of tells you, the reason behind it. They broke the news to frame this as a loss of a right. And yeah, I don't believe that at all. I think that it's never a right to be able to end the life of another human being. And I know that, you might be able um, to say back in the 1970s, they may have honestly held to the view that this was just a clump of cells and that it didn't really mean anything. But I think that, it quickly became evident that, um, this is a unique human life that's never going to be repeated again. That all the major organs form, very quickly. That you can hear the heartbeat. You can detect it as early as 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So these are all reasons as to why we should not be allowing, or at the very least, not condoning abortion. And the problem is that when you make something legal, a lot of times people think then that it's moral as well. And I think just by the very fact of no longer putting the Supreme Court stamp of approval on it, I think will cause a lot more people to kind of think about this issue. And I think that's really important that we think about this issue and wrestle with it. And what are the other options that we can do? There's of course adoption. There is keeping the child and taking that responsibility. And yes, your life will be changed. But I think most people would think that once they have that child in their life, most people don't want to just, okay, well, that 2-year-old is a pain in the neck. I really wish I had aborted it. I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I'd appreciate it. Let me see where I'm at here. So, of course, Pelosi and Schumer came out and said that this is a disgrace that this would happen. Let me get over to that. So, let me move this over here. So, the Democrats are condemning this draft decision as an abomination, and they urge Congress to codify Roe v. Wade because really, there's never been a federal law legalizing abortion, and the reason being is because we can't get enough votes. They couldn't get enough votes. They've tried it. They tried with earlier this session. They tried with like the women's health reproductive rights, and I think it failed with a vote of like 46 to 48. I'm not sure which side was which on that, but apparently 6 people declined to vote at all. And Senator Manchin voted with the Republicans. So I think that says a lot for the state of our country in being, the pro-choice. That as hot button of a topic this is, as many pro-life states are passing restrictions on abortion, that the Senate couldn't get together and vote this through. I talked yesterday on my other channel, Sweet Home California, that the media has made us believe that really minuscule minorities are actually the majority of the country, or at least much larger minorities. And I think that this, we've seen polls where it says that the majority of Americans are pro-choice, but is it really? You can skew a poll any which way, based on how you're asking the question. So you can call a person pro-choice if they allow abortion at any point. So a person who is for instance, a 6-week limit on abortion could still be considered pro-choice. And I would support a ban on abortion at 6 weeks. But there are some, only because it's incrementally reducing the number of abortions. I don't believe that it's still okay to do an abortion before 6 weeks, but I'm just happy that hopefully it's going to be saving an untold number of lives of those that are more than 6 weeks. But if you want to play with statistics, then that person may be counted as pro-choice. So if you count up all those, then that's how I think they're getting that the majority of America is pro-choice. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. I also talked to a lot of people who say that they personally would never uh, want to have an abortion or have their wife have an abortion, but they don't feel like it's their place to tell anybody else what to do. So are those people considered, pro-choice? I think that they probably would be counted as such because, again, I think the media and the politicians want to frame the narrative to make it seem like pro-life is in the fringe right and that they shouldn't have a place at the table. So anyhow, here's what this article is saying about Pelosi. So it's saying that Democrats have urged Congress to pass a bill codifying Roe v. Wade in response to the alleged draft of the forthcoming Supreme Court opinion striking down the 1973 precedent on abortion. Now, it's important to remind you that Roe v. Wade, if that is reversed, it's not going to make abortion illegal in all 50 states. It's basically going to kick it down to the state level for them to decide. If anybody's out there watching, please hit me a like and comment. I just want to see if I'm actually out there or not, and whether or not I'm heard. I know this is my other channel, so I don't have a lot of followers on this one, but you know what? You have to grow from something. You got to start somewhere. And my other channel, it started at 0 too, and I now have over 3,500 on that other channel, but I haven't posted on this channel in a while, and I think it's important to post here every once in a while. And I think this is really great news and is worthy of finding a wider audience. But I have a feeling that is going to be shadow banned because of the topic. But in any case, to continue on, the draft, which the court refused to confirm or deny, and appears to date back to February, would reverse Roe v. Wade and allow the states to make their own laws on this hot-button issue of abortion. Since this is a draft reported by Politico and not an official signed opinion, Roe v. Wade remains the law of the land. Drafts circulate and can change, and I think that is exactly the point. They want it to change. If this report is accurate, the Supreme Court is poised to inflict the greatest restriction of rights in the past 50 years, not just on women, but on all Americans. And this was from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and they said that in a joint statement. Yes, it is a restriction of right on all Americans. It's a restriction on their ability to, live life however they see fit with absolutely no repercussions and no responsibilities. And that is not how we were intended to live. Quote, the Republican-appointed justices reported votes to overturn Roe v. Wade would go down as an abomination, one of the worst and most damaging decisions in modern history. I can just imagine some of these comments from this letter being said of the people who, when the justices ruled that slavery was illegal. It's restricting people's rights, it's property rights. It is going to affect not just, the women of the South that's going to have to do more of their own housework, but it's going to affect everyone. It says several of these conservative justices, who are in no way accountable to the American people, have lied to the U.S. Senate, ripped up the Constitution, and defiled both precedent and the Supreme Court's reputation, all at the expense of tens of millions of women who could soon be stripped of their bodily autonomy and the constitutional rights that they've relied on for half a century, they continued. They've relied on it because it is basically the contraception last resort. And a lot of women, unfortunately, use it as contraception. But contraception means it's against conception, contraception. If you're in the point that you need abortion, the conception's already happened. And to say that they've lied to the U.S. Senate, I haven't listened to every single time that we're questioning Supreme Court justices by the Senate. So I don't know everything that they've said, but I'm pretty sure every time I've ever watched and they're talking about potential cases that maybe come before the Supreme Court, they've all been unanimous in basically saying, I can't comment on that because it may come before the Supreme Court. So I don't know how they could say that they've lied when they haven't ever publicly said how they would judge in such a case in any way. It says, continuing, Congress must pass legislation that codifies Roe v. Wade as the law of the land in this country now. And that was from Senator Bernie Sanders, an independent who caucuses with the Democrats, who twice finished as a runner-up in the Democrat presidential primary. And he put that in a tweet. And he continued saying, and if there aren't 60 votes in the Senate to do it, and there are not, that we must end the filibuster to pass it with 50 votes. And that is exactly why we need to have a filibuster. You know, the way that our government was set up was to purposely slow things down. That by having a more deliberative body and requiring, having that ability to filibuster things, that it really needed to be something truly important and monumental to pass a law, because basically laws restrict our freedoms. It restricts what Americans can do. So if they can't get it through, the way they want it, then, work at it at the state level if they think that is so important. But the problem is there's a good many states they're not going to be able to get their way. And that's why they really wanted to just have their thumb on 9 justices. Much more easy to influence them than it is to influence 400 some odd House members and 100 some odd senators. Of course, AOC has to get involved. Also called for a law that would codify Roe. And she was blaming Senator Joe Manchin for blocking the move because West Virginia is one of those states where they have, they're more restrictive. They have more laws protecting the unborn. She said, as we've warned, SCOTUS isn't just coming for abortion. They're coming for the right to privacy that Roe rests on, which includes gay marriage and civil rights, she tweeted. Manchin is blocking Congress codifying Roe. House has seemingly forgotten about Clarence Thomas. These 2 points must change. I haven't read the 100 some odd pages, so if anybody out there has, please let me know in the comments how this decision would have anything to do with gay marriage and civil rights. Also, her blaming Manchin on this, even though Manchin did vote with the Republicans, there were 6 other senators that didn't even vote. It wasn't 49 to 46, it was 46 to 48, so it wasn't just Manchin. Lovely picture of Hillary Clinton there. Hillary, of course, got in on it, and she called the unconfirmed draft opinion outrageous. Not surprising, but still outrageous. This decision is a direct assault on the dignity, rights, and lives of women, not to mention decades of settled law. It will kill and subjugate women, even as a vast majority of Americans think that abortion should be legal. What an utter disgrace. And women who think that it's a good idea to kill their offspring, they're a disgrace. And this would not have any effect on California Bill AB 2223, which is seeking to do just that perinatal deaths should not be investigated, and in California is what the proposed law would be. And perinatal is generally understood to mean from point of viability, which is somewhere around 21 weeks, to post-birth, and that has varied. It could be anywhere from 7 days to as long as 2 years, and I don't think that has been defined yet in any of the drafts that I've seen for AB 2223. But so California is going the complete opposite direction, and we need to let the California legislature know that the pro-life movement is not going to is a lot bigger than they think it is. It's a lot bigger than the media puts out there that it is. But anyhow, we need to pray because as I said at the beginning, that this is a draft. This was put out with the express purpose of trying to put pressure on the justices to change their minds. And I hope that I'm just praying that God will steel their resolve. Those that are pro-life will steel their resolve. And I think the rumors for having it that Justice Roberts, the chief justice, was still undecided. and I just pray that he will realize that the correct call on this is to strike down Roe v. Wade and to make this decision a 6-3 decision. So let's pray for that. Some things that I've noted over the last couple of years is more people have been praying about it. We even through the pandemic we have continued to have these March for Lives going on, and they're always peaceful and they're always respectful, and we need to continue to be like that. We can't stoop to their level, which unfortunately doesn't get headlines. But God sees, and God can change hearts way better than lighting fires in the middle of downtown and looting stores. So please continue to be godly. Please continue to pray. And God bless you. And I will talk to you next time. I don't know if this has stopped. Oh, how do I end it? It's always good to learn new things. Okay, there we go. All right, end stream. God bless.